removing some trees, felling them, and then limbing them. As we go through the process here, we'll speed the video up so that it's not too boring to watch. But you should be able to see as the trees go down what it looks like, as well as how we limb them later on. And we'll explain why we're doing this and what we want to accomplish by doing this. So we hope you enjoy the video. If you have any comments or questions or thoughts, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoy this video and like to see more, please give a thumbs up to like the video. And also please subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified when we put new videos out. Thanks and enjoy.
the trees are down, we need to take the limbs off of them so we can eventually use the trunks of the tree for firewood. So now he is going to be taking the limbs off the pine trees.
So today we cut down a bunch of trees over here. We have to do this around the property, all the way around. You might be able to make it out, maybe not, but over here we've already done some. Over here we've done a bunch. We're just kind of working through. We still have some to do there. We have a bunch to do in this corner and still back there a little bit. We also want to like trim up some of these trees. I don't know if you can make it out on the video, but some of these pines have really long kind of dead limbs at the bottom that just need to be cleaned up. So we'd like to do that at some point, but you can see here, there's a lot of stumps now. We cut back a whole bunch of trees and then limb them. So basically the process is you cut down the tree. So you can see we cut down this tree here. The tree falls and then we cut off all the limbs. So here and here, and we're gonna leave them on the ground right here because we're actually gonna go buy a chipper so that we can chip all of this wood up and use it in our garden, as well as for the chickens. And then what I do is I cut them into what I consider to be manageable pieces. So usually about 4 feet long, sometimes 5 feet long, and then leave the top. So the top and the limbs will get chipped. The base pieces we will then chop up into burnable size logs. Now this is pine, or it's a softwood. I don't know if it's pine exactly. I don't believe it is actually. It's hemlock. Yeah, so that's a hemlock. This is a little bitty hemlock. But they are not good to burn for like in your house. You know, you wouldn't want to use this in a wood stove inside your house. But it's great for making syrup. So when we, boil sugar in the spring, these are fast burning, super hot burning wood. So last year for the 1 week that we burned, that we boiled, we used almost all softwood. We had some hardwood. The hardwood keeps the fire going, but you keep feeding it with the softwood, and the softwood just burns fast and hot. So it keeps that boil going. And when you're outside and it's, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, it's a good idea to have that fire as hot as you can. So once again, we did the same thing here. You can see we cut it, chopped it up, took the limbs off, and it's ready for us to process. You can see some of these were pretty well cut, like this one, not bad. And then you can see I did a horrible job on this one. This was an absolutely terrible cut. That is not how it should ever look. You want that rise right there to be much, much smaller. I have probably a 3-inch rise there. That needs to be like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So yeah, that was not a good one. Luckily for me, that was a dead tree. So this tree right here was dead and it was really light. And so I wasn't overly concerned about it. I could kind of push it and have my way with it, but that's not how you want to cut a tree. You want to cut a tree with a much smaller hinge, I believe is what the people that sell trees call it. Your loggers. So they want to call it a hinge. And basically the way it works is you cut this way, you cut your wedge here in the front of the tree, and you come through, and then as it goes, you have these fibers right here that kind of break and they twist. And you can see here, like this one wasn't great. I didn't get it lined up very well. So what happened was my hinge stopped too early, and this right here, you know, didn't hinge very well. It's okay, these are smaller trees and I am learning, so I don't expect to always have it perfect, but you can see that it kind of tore when it fell down. But this tree, like many of the others, has been limbed and is chopped up into manageable pieces. We have a whole bunch. I still have to kind of get this one over here down, picked up. Up here we have some maple. These were already dead, so I don't actually have anything to take off of them. There's no limbs on them. So all we have to do with these guys is chop them up. I was concerned that the wood was going to be all rotted. It's a little wet in the middle, as you can see right there, but this is pretty good. So we can probably still chop up a good chunk of that to burn. Same thing on this side. It was a little rotted in the middle, but the side is still pretty solid. So yeah, we've got 2 nice long logs of maple here that we can chop up. And if we continue on, you can see we have much more trees that we've chopped down. You can see along the side here, all of these branches are down. These guys, I have not gone ahead and limbed them all yet. So you can see these are all hardwoods. There's not pines that I chopped down over here or hemlocks. These are all beech. So this is beech right here. I believe that's a beech tree. Oh, actually, that one looks more like a yellow birch from the bark, but no, I believe that's beech by looking at the leaves. So yeah, there's a couple of other trees that are here. This one is a pine, so here we have a pine. We'll get this one limbed and chopped up as well for sap. And then, you know, some more, another beech here, a couple more. The beech grow pretty wild here. This is a yellow birch, you can tell. The difference between a yellow birch and a white birch is, of course, the color, but a yellow birch has like these little curly-Q pieces on its bark. I like the birches. I prefer not to get rid of them, but they grow crooked, and they're usually like on the edge of the forest line, so they grow outward to get to the sun, and they just don't look good, and they end up falling over anyway. So yeah, so we'll do that. The last thing I was talking about is when I was mentioning over there that these trees have a lot of limbs at the bottom. You can see that these limbs are all dead, you know. At the bottom of these hemlocks, they just seem to have all of these dead branches that, whether it's because they couldn't get light or they're just older, right, because they're at the bottom of the tree, I'm not sure. But we need to get some sort of, you know, saw on a pole. We have one at the house. I forget what they're called. But yeah, just a way to get up there, I don't know, 15 feet or so and trim up all of these dead branches. Because this tree is nice and it's pretty healthy up at the top. It's really full. You know, it'll create a lot of shade for the animals, and also looks pretty in the winter when the snow covers them. So we like to keep some of them, but I don't want all of these ugly branches sticking out and hitting us in the face while we're walking around the woods. Our goal is to make it so that this land is usable and we can walk through it. We can let the dogs run around. But as you can see from like this guy here, it is just completely covered with those branches, right? And you can't walk under there. Those ferns are almost touching the branches. So we're, you know, 2 feet off the ground, 3 feet off the ground, and you're running into those branches. Those things will poke you in the eye. It is not a fun time. So we're gonna have to clean a lot of that up. You know, it's just something that has to be done. And we'll also be trimming out a bunch more of these little trees. I kind of just ran out of steam. It is really hot today, and I've been at this for a couple hours, so I'm kind of ready for the day to be done, at least the sweating portion of the day. I'm gonna go to the store, buy a chipper with the wife, and we are going to either later this evening or sometime tomorrow after work, we're gonna come back over and we are gonna start chipping up branches. What the goal for that is we're gonna chip all these branches up, at least the small branches and the twigs, and we're gonna use them to fill in the rows in the garden, as you know, as a weed suppressant. We're also gonna use them in the chicken coop because the chickens, of course, use chips in the bedding, so we'll use that there. The chickens do enjoy picking through stuff, so even if there's a little bit of green in there, I'm sure that they would enjoy that. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get back to the store. Well, I'm gonna go take a shower. We're gonna go to the store, buy the chipper, and then maybe tomorrow we'll have another video, or later this week, another video of us chipping these up and showing what this you know, process is down to.